Police have identified the 3-year-old little girl, but have not yet been able to find her parents. Up the highest crash rate of any age group. Cell phones and passengers, a big problem when it comes to teen crashes. Both making the case that Sheriff Makita either abused his power or simply was doing his job. The battalion struck down the state's same-sex marriage ban, paving the way for gay couples to marry. Bringing sexual assault awareness to Arkansas State's campus, one fact at a time. OPPD calls it a journey of epic proportion. Not only did they show their sportsmanship on the court, but off the court as well.
176 of those in one fuel assembly.
They are 12-foot tall zirconium alloy rods, and they make Omaha light up.
Inside those pins is 223 uranium pellets. Those pellets are what actually fission to make the power, to make the heat, which turns our turbine to make the electricity.
Every year and a half, OPPD shuts down Fort Calhoun to replace its nuclear fuel.
Right now, he's checking the bottom of the assembly and the feet. That's an inspection tool to make sure that the bottom of the assembly sits properly when it's inside of the core.
For the very first time, OPPD invited our cameras inside the plant to show us how it works in its most sensitive operations. Tim Bussey, a nuclear engineer at Fort Calhoun, showed us around.
We're looking for any defects or anything like that in the fuel, so that when it goes into the core to operate for another year and a half, that it operates without any issues.
Each Wednesday, the plant receives a shipment of fuel assemblies. Nuclear engineers then unpack them for meticulous inspection.
What our job is to make sure that the manufacturers that we purchase the fuel from actually made the fuel correctly.
Each assembly weighs about 1,275 pounds. Inside each of those rods is uranium pellets, with each pellet producing about the same amount of electricity as 2,400 pounds of coal.
In my opinion, nuclear power is cleaner and safer than coal.
Fort Calhoun provides 1/3 of the electricity OPPD supplies to customers. Once the assemblies are inspected, they're placed in reinforced concrete structures and put into a giant-sized pool. In a few weeks, those rods will be put to work, providing power for years to come.
When we pull that rod out, now all the fission can occur, now all the power can happen.
Civilian rescue call, personal injury accident, 84th and Cary.
It's an accident that left a young girl dead and a classmate fighting for his life.
I have a 2-car personal injury accident.
The beer cans and injuries are staged. The emotions, though, real.
Seeing them go through that is upsetting. It's hard to watch.
Sarah Wilkening is a junior at Papillion La Vista High School. The mock crash left her in tears.
That was one of the hardest parts, seeing their parents come, seeing Jasmine's dad come and say, "Oh, that's my little girl."
Wake up! The screams of the crash victims and seeing the parents of those students rush to the scene also hit home for Devin Cleveland.
It was so surreal seeing people that actually know in the accident, and just knowing that that could happen at any time.
The timing of the crash comes just one day before students in Papillion celebrate prom. Last month, the AAA Foundation released findings on the dangers of teens and distractions behind the wheel.
There's a possibility, and buckle up, wear your seatbelts, leave your devices until you approach your location.
The traffic safety study found distractions were a factor in 58% of moderate to severe crashes involving teen drivers. That's 4 times the rate in many previous official estimates based on police reports.
We want them to be safe. We want them to come home in one piece.
For Devin and Sarah, they hope their classmates take something from this crash and make it back to class safely on Monday.
Don't text and drive. Don't drink and drive. I mean, Omaha is not that big. Put the phone away.
The neighborhood was lit up with police lights early this morning after a man robbed this house here behind me, but that suspect may have just picked the wrong homeowner to mess with. It was 2:30 this morning. Barb Haley, sound asleep, suddenly wakes up. As she's walking around the house, something just isn't right.
I'm starting to say, okay, someone's been in here.
But finds no one, so she goes back to bed.
As soon as I got back in my room, there was a huge crash.
That's when Barb and her gun go to see what is happening. Her dog Dozier sniffs out the suspect hiding in a bedroom closet.
And came back out, went into the room, and there were 2 hands sticking out of my closet.
Inside the closet, this man, 24-year-old Jody Kudalax.
And I turned and looked at the closet, and I said, "Don't move, I'll blow your effing head off."
Barb immediately calls 911.
The dispatcher goes, "Do you have a gun?" I said, "Yes, I do." And I said, it's pointed at him. I said, "And I will shoot him if he moves." And
Barb, her gun, and Dozier hold Kudulax there until the cops arrive. Her 2 daughters arrive shortly after.
I'm like, "Mom, like, why didn't you stay in your room?" And she's like, "I couldn't. Like, why would I? I would have done nothing different. I had the upper hand."
After all, Barb says it is her house, and she was protecting it.
I would absolutely, and if I met him face to face, I would have no problem pulling the trigger, none.